Hello again, welcome back to Asgard, and welcome back to Divine Journey. So, I just finished up running to the Nether. I had to make a quick run, because I totally forgot before I started this episode, or before I was about to start this episode, that I didn't go get redstone and glowstone. So I did go grab a bit of that, and I did get a bit of redstone. That's not all the redstone, by the way. We have 331 redstone. It's nothing crazy, but it is... I'm thinking it's going to be enough for our needs today. And since last episode, I did, finish up that speed build for the Between Lands. That video came out yesterday. And I will take you guys over there at the end of the episode if you're curious to see the build so far. If you don't watch the speed build videos, because I know some people, don't watch those if you have motion sickness or anything like that, or you're just not into that kind of thing. But I will take you guys over there and show you the progress so far. But I will say that the next speed build video is going to be working on Thaumcraft area. We're not going to be working on the Between Lands area in the next one, and that's due to the fact that we need a Thaumcraft area. Like, hands down, we have to have one at this point because we're getting ready to move into Thaumcraft. So today's goal, what we're going to do, is we're going to start off by getting into the very basics of Thaumcraft. I'm making plates right now, and that's just so that we can actually unlock the Thaumcraft quest line. Because, we're going to have it because we're going to need goggles revealing, which is 2 thermometers anyways. That's one of the first quests, so yeah, I guess technically we're going to need 3 thermometers. Thermometers, I usually call it thermometer, but I guess technically it should be thermometer, but I don't know. So, but anyways, that is our goal for today, our goals for today, is starting with a little bit of Thaumcraft, just doing kind of introductory stuff, and we'll do a little bit of scanning on camera, nothing too crazy, and then we'll do, a little bit of research on camera, once more, nothing crazy, and then we're going to get our quarry. At long last, we're gonna have a quarry, and I'm gonna run that thing like mad. So I've been waiting this whole time, to make the pack. I was wanting to make the pack a little bit more interesting for me, off camera, especially doing all the mining and stuff like that by hand. I think it's a little bit of fun, and I've had a lot of fun dealing with Lycanites mobs, especially early on. And right now, it's just like one shot, pretty much. But now we're at the point where a quarry would be nice, because I would like to have metals always on demand. I would like to have, certain items always on demand, which take a lot of resources. I want to have, a couple thousand dark steel on demand anytime I need it, and just things like that would really make life a whole lot easier, but I don't feel comfortable doing that. We're still good on Yellorium, so that's good. That reactor really doesn't have to run all that hard to keep our base running. It's been wonderful. But of course, it's time that we start getting a quarry, and then we'll probably maybe look at power upgrade as well. We'll see how things go, but that's our current objectives at the moment. So, all right, there's 1 imbued runic plate and 2 imbued runic plates. Okay, so we should be able to turn in this quest, and we get a redstone flux capacitor that is fully charged. And then for the soul runic plates, what did we need for that? I know it's the part that's going to hurt is the double soul shards. And then electrosilicon and large bloodstone bricks. Okay. So let me order 2 of those electrosilicons. And then we're going to need, this is the part I don't love, is half of our soul shards gone. And then the bloodstone bricks, give me 1 more of those. Thank you. And there we go. That is crafting. And that's going to open up the actual Thaumcraft tree. So I figured if we're going to start getting into Thaumcraft a little bit, might as well have the quest line unlocked for it. Resonant Flux Capacitor for that one. Cool. So we've got the majority of blood magic knocked out. I mean, look at this. Hemoglobin, blood magic and Britannia, both 80+%. So that's not bad. And then we completed a quest for Thaumcraft, making the thermometer. We get 10 mystical cyan flowers. And then we have a quest to get the deconstruction table. I'm not going to worry about making that right now because of the fact that, honestly, that's something I don't tend to make until, like, pretty late into Thaumcraft, if at all. It kind of depends on the pack and what all research you have to do, but usually scanning at least early on. And I wonder what we need to continue this. I'm assuming it's something within Botania is the reason that we can't... maybe it has to do with the wand. What do we need for the wand focus? And the wand, iron-capped wooden wand, Gaia spirits. Okay. So, before we can actually... so we're not going to be able to do any research today. Well, actually, you know what? We can do research. We just can't make the arcane work table. So I'll tell you what. We'll just set up our... we'll set up our table right here, and then we can take our scribing tools, right-click it on there, and we have our research table. So, and then I'm going to put just... I'm just going to set this other table down right there for right now. That's fine. Okay, so let's go ahead and get into scanning. And basically what I'm going to do, you guys know how to scan stuff, chances are. You use the thermometer, however you want to pronounce it. And this pack does have inventory scanning, so it's actually very, very simple. And I'm just going to run through, if you guys aren't familiar with basically how Thaumcraft scanning works, you know, you have to find the elements. For example, if I take this inventory scanner and I try to scan steak, you'll notice at the bottom right, it says to understand this, you need to study man. And so basically you have to unlock the different elements that make up items before you can actually research the item. So generally the first thing that I do, and this is a good rule of practice, is take Aqua, go into this little research table, take Aqua, Terra, and hit this button right here. You learn Victus. That's what I start off with, because Victus is one of those things, it's a pain to try to find anything to scan with it. Sometimes there's some modded things, but for the most part I just do that. Might as well. It makes life so much easier moving forward. And then since we have inventory scanning, we can just do that. You can see right down here, you've discovered a clue to new research. You've also discovered Lux. So basically we learned a new element. So we start with Lux. Can I just scan stuff in here, I wonder? No. It has to be actually in my inventory. Okay, so the next thing I do is I scan coal. And there's Potentia. And you'll notice if you hold shift over this, you can see what makes up coal. It's 2 parts Potentia, 2 parts Ignis, which is fire. And then the next good thing to scan is grass blocks. I keep wanting to scan it right there. And then we learn Herba. And give me just a second. Let me just go ahead and get some things in my inventory. The next few things that we're going to need. And I will say that I am going right off of the list. You can actually find this if you just Google Thaumcraft scanning. It's a quick way to discover all aspects. It's a Reddit post or an FTB forums post. It's what I always turn to. Most of these things I tend to remember, but there's certain things I forget about. And having the order right there is just very, very handy. So I do suggest just doing it through that. Especially if you've been through Thaumcraft at least once, it kind of loses the luster of like going out and actually like trying to find the things and all that. Like now, once you've been through it a few times, you're just like, okay, just give it all to me. Okay, and these first few things I'm scanning, you're going to want to scan these in order up until I scan the obsidian, and then after that, it's pretty much just whatever you want to scan for most of the rest of these. But anyways, we're going to scan a trapdoor, and we unlock some new stuff. We're going to scan a chest, a block of glass, a shard, and then once we get that scanned, what we're going to do is we're going to head out and find ourselves a chicken. Because we need to scan like a chicken. I think chicken is like the only... I don't think we can scan cows just yet. I believe that's just a little bit farther in. Oh, we can scan cows. But we do still need a chicken because we need Volatus, right? Well, actually, a feather should have Volatus. So I'll just scan a feather. I'm not going to go out and look for a chicken. I'm pretty sure we should be able to scan a feather. Yes. There we go. We learned Volatus. And then back to inventory scanning. Soul Sand is next, right? Oh, you know what? That's right. I need to actually combine something here. What is it? Victus and Perdito. And that gives us Mortis, which is death. I almost forgot about that. If you make a potion of weakness, I just didn't bother. I generally don't bother unless I have a potion of weakness on hand. I don't normally make one of those. So instead I just scan a shard and then research that mortise. And then we can do soul sand, paper, rotten flesh, wheat, and I'm not going to go over all of the different elements that we're unlocking and all that, but and then we get obsidian scanned. And now the rest of these we can pretty much do just in any order. Dandelion, wool, spider eye, snow, a bucket of milk, any kind of hoe, which most of the hoes in this pack are actually disabled, but we can do a diamond hoe. Iron pick, arrow, leather, hopper, fence gate, any kind, iron ingots, oh, I have my ring of magnetization on, gold ingots, ender pearl, slime ball. Let me deal with this rain real quick. And let me go ahead and pull that ring off. And then Ethereal Essence is another thing that we want to scan. And you can see that we got Aurum and an unknown aspect. Okay, now that unknown aspect, we're gonna have to wait before we can find that, because chances are there are some things that we're not gonna get from this scanning. This is the basics of scanning, but there are other elements, thanks to like Thaumcraft add-on mods, that we're not gonna be able to get with just the basic scanning. That's generally something, if you get the basic scanning out of the way, then you can pretty much go through the world and scan everything. And then, like, sometimes you'll find stuff. I know one of them is there's a wisp. Can I scan you? There we go. Haha. I don't know if Lycanites... No, they don't have elements, so... But honestly, now we're at the point where we can just kind of go around and, like, scan all the things. Like sand. There's a pig. Oh, we can't scan up... There we go. There's a pig. And you can see that element right there in the middle. That's from a Thaumcraft add-on. That's like the... What is it? Gluttony? I believe, basically is what it translates to anyway. Divine RPG does not have research points. Squid should have them though. Hobgoblin. Just dirt. And you can see, I mean, I can just run around and just scan all the things. I'm not going to do any more scanning on camera, I don't think. Because we've pretty much covered scanning basics and all that fun stuff. And the nice thing is now we can go around and we can find these little Thaumcraft nodes and scan those as well. There we go. And we can scan this one. Would you leave me alone? And the more complex things that you scan, like for example, if I come over here and I scan an interface, you can see it has a bunch of different elements that go into it. And I mean, sometimes there'll be things with like 10, 15 elements. Oh, it shut down my portal. Oh, it is on. Huh. Okay, I guess it was just a visual bug or something. Droppers can be scanned. Botania flowers. Redstone Conduit can't. I know a lot of the Ender IO stuff can be scanned, just certain things. I think the conduits are the main thing that can't be scanned. So, and it looks like Between Lands probably doesn't have things. I mean, some mod items aren't going to have, you know, elements, but now see, look at that. It's 48 of all those things, which the higher it is, the more points that you're going to get for research. So then if we come over here, we can see all the things that we've researched, all these different elements that we found in our world, and we have different numbers next to them. Of course, that's our research points, and this is really just kind of a crash course at this point. And let's go ahead and grab ourselves a Thamma Nomicon, and we are going to get into research really quickly. So we're going to need some paper, and we're also going to need some scribing tools. And technically you can do this with just one set of scribing tools. I tend to like having two. One that sits at my table, and then one that that I actually, you know, personally use. So let's get another rod of the Shaded Mesa and our scribing tools. There we go. So we've got paper and we've got scribing tools. Then if we open up our Thamma Nomicon, and this is a blast from the past. I have not used this thing in what feels like so long. The first thing that I'm going to go for... Oops. I always do some of this first page first. So the first thing that I'm going to go for is research expertise. And what we're going to do is it uses up a little bit of the scribing tools. You'll notice it took some durability damage. It uses one piece of paper, and we're going to get a research note. We can pop that in there, and right here, basically what we have to do is we have to link these up, okay? And they have to, basically we have to go in and we have to find the elements that link them together. So Ordo, Cognito, which is like the mind, and then Census. That is Census, right? And if you're wanting to find out what makes up what, and I'm not going to go through all this, you know, if you haven't done Thaumcraft before and you don't want to watch a tutorial or something, I mean, it's all listed here. So I'm not going to read through everything in this book because this book is massive. But Census, right? Yeah, that's Census. So if we look in here, Census is made of air and spiritus. And Cognito is made of ignis and spiritus. So both of those are made out of spiritus, and then we have that Ordo. If we look at spiritus, it's Victus and Mortis. And Mortis, let me see. It's a lot of this first little bit is a lot of flipping through this. Perdito. I can link Ordo and Perdito together through permutatio, so that's what we're going to do. I hate when you don't have access to this, for the record. So anyways, what we're going to do is we're going to go Spiritus, and we can just drag and drop over to here. So Cognito and Census are both made up of Spiritus, so we're going to put that right there. And then Spiritus, let me say something here. Okay, Spiritus is Victus and Mortis. Mortis is what links into Perdito. So we're going to do Mortis right there, and then these two, Cognito and Census, are now linked together through that Mortis line. And then Mortis we can turn into Perdito, and then Perdito can turn into Permutatio, which Ordo also goes into Permutatio. So now everything is linked together, and we have a discovery, and it's completed. It's basically that little mini game, and you're going to be doing a lot of it, a ton of it. And we can right click, and you can see we got research completed, research expertise. And if we open this up now, you'll become more efficient at performing research. Whenever you remove an aspect that you placed in a hex, there's a 25% chance that you will regain the research point. You're also able to see what aspects you need to combine to create an aspect you are hovering over, which is, that's the key thing right there. So, next up, I'm going to go ahead and get Research Mastery. Now, you'll notice this one says Forbidden Knowledge, mostly harmless. That's basically Flux, which we'll get into Flux a lot more later on. For right now, just know that as you do Forbidden Knowledge, there's going to be ratings on how dangerous it is. And the higher the danger, the more Flux that you accrue. And after you get so much Flux, you start kind of going crazy. So it's one of the really cool features of Thaumcraft, especially when you get really, really crazy and you start seeing things like spiders and stuff. Anyways, now life has gotten a whole lot easier since we got that first research, because now you can see that I can look at any of these aspects and see, like, Herba, plant, is made up of Victus and Terra. So now it's a whole lot quicker doing research, because I can look and say Percantio is Vacuos and Potentia. Okay, and Cognito, we looked at that one before, that's Ignis and Spiritus. So I'll tell you what, let's go into Ignis. Percantio is Potentia. I wish I could get those a little bit closer, but that's fine. And I'm going to go ahead and use another Potentia right there. Oops. No, I didn't mean to use it right there. I meant to use it right there to connect that Ignis up. And if you put something in here and you break it off, you're going to lose the point that you put in there. But there is a chance that you're not going to once you get the research. You know, the research we just got said there's a chance that we're not going to lose our point. That's where that chance comes in. Okay, and Census also is Spiritus, but then also air. And I'm going to go ahead and use air. Generally, you're going to have a lot of certain aspects. So those are the ones that you want to use. Potentia is something that you find a lot. Air is something that you find a lot. And there's also, I mean, there's a lot of mechanics to it. You can passively get back things like air and, you know, those base, those 6 base elements and stuff. You can passively get those back when you're near things, and there's a whole lot of mechanics to it, which we're not going to get into all of that today. We're just covering the bare bone basics. Potentia is also Ordo, so we're going to go ahead and move into Ordo. And air combined with Ignis makes Lux. So we're going to move into Ignis there, which can then turn into Potentia, Ordo and Ignis, and then we'll just combine that right there, and there we go. We got our research expertise, or research mastery. Oops, wrong book. And if we take a look at research mastery, you become even more efficient at performing research. Whenever you remove an aspect that you placed in a hex, there's a 50% chance now that you will regain the research point. Additionally, there's a 10% chance that whenever you place an aspect that it will not cost any research points to do so. And lastly, you're able to combine aspects in the research table by shift-clicking on the aspect you wish to create. If you have enough of the component aspects, they will automatically combine to create the clicked aspect. And I mean, we have a ton of research to do at this point. Like an absolute ton of it. Probably the next thing that I'm going to go ahead and take is the advanced node tapping. I like to get some of these just out of the way, you know, first thing. And this is going to be probably the last one that we do on camera, because I know it's not, especially if you've been through Thaumcraft a multitude of times, it's not the most exciting thing to watch. I just kind of wanted to give you guys a very quick crash course in the event that you were brand new to Thaumcraft. So, but you can see I'm just kind of bringing everything together here, and I'm kind of going through this one a little bit quicker, just because hopefully you guys can follow along and know what I'm doing. And it's really just, you know, pretty much the exact same thing that we've been doing. And we'll bring that together with some Ordo, and there we go. That easy. And advanced node tapping. If you take a look at this one, usually the process of drawing V from a node with a wand is quite slow, which we haven't got into getting V and all of that stuff. We'll have to do the Gaia Guardian before we can get into that. But not anymore. You have discovered a more efficient way of tapping into aura nodes, resulting in a doubling of the V draw rate. Alright, and I'm going to go ahead and do some just off-camera research. I'm going to go ahead and get the rest of our... Basically, I want to go ahead and get the rest of the V stuff done, like drawing V from nodes, because this is basically that first page. I'll go ahead and show you real quick. This first page, I usually like to get everything except for research duplication and deconstruction table. Those two, not quite as vital at the beginning, but getting that research expertise, the research mastery, and all this stuff relating to nodes, all those are pretty handy to have right out the gate. So that's usually what I go for at the start. And there we go. There's another one done, Node Preserver. And there we go, Master Node Tapping and Node Preserver, which we'll get into the effects of those a little bit later, because right now we can't actually use them. Node Najar is another thing that we're not going to be able to use for a good long while, because you have to get quite a bit farther into Thaumcraft before you have the V in your wands to actually be able to use those. But and another thing I like to get is Magical Metallurgy. That's probably, I think, the last thing that I'm going to get right this second. And that's because it allows us to make Thaumium. And that will definitely come in handy. Like one of the easiest ones ever to link up right there. So, there we go. And there's Thaumium. But anyways, we have tons of stuff to research. Basically, between each episode, I'm just going to do a little bit of research here and there. Now, there's also these. You'll notice they have, instead of having, like, click to get a research note, instead you just click to purchase. Basically, you can just buy these. Instead of actually having to research them. So these are your friends, because you can just click, click, and there we go. We got both of these researches done. Just for an example, and then you'll see things like this. This means that we don't have the research right now to actually get research notes or purchase this. We have to basically scan more things, is what that means. Okay, and you know what? One thing that I want to do just really, really fast. Let me grab like a stack of these belladonna seeds, stack of the mandrake, water artichokes, wolfsbane, snowbale, and then let me get like a stack of the garlic as well. There's 6 quests that we could actually just blast right through. These right here, these witchery ones for getting all the seeds. Why not go ahead and knock these out, because we've got plenty of the seeds. So there we go. I mean, there's nothing else that we can do in witchery at the moment. I think we're waiting on getting Anointing Paste, which takes the Crucible, which takes Celestial Pearls, which is Arcane Infusion, Ichor, Thaumic Tinkerer, basically. So that's still a good ways off at the moment, but might as well go ahead and knock those out and get all those free bags of bone meal. Alright, so anyways, onwards and upwards. The next thing that we need to do is start looking at our quarry. Okay, now we have a quest right here, your first quarry. I am planning on today making the RF Tools Quarry and the Ender Quarry. Honestly, the RF Tools Quarry is honestly the faster of the two. It's actually the first one that you get in the pack, but it is honestly the faster of the two and the most OP of the two. And honestly, probably the easier one of the two to use, I feel like. Depending on how these cards are limited. But I want to use both of them. I like both the quarries. They both have their positives, I guess. RF Tools Quarry is, of course, probably my favorite. Does it take... Oh, it does not take the RF Tools Quarry. But you'll notice that the main thing that's holding you back from getting the Ender Quarry is the Mossy Dreamwood Planks. That's like the main thing that's kind of... Oh, and of course the Terra Shatterer, but, you know, we've been able to make Terra Steel for a while. But we're going to start with the RF Tools Quarry. Oh, and the quest reward, we actually get a wireless transmitter and wireless receiver. That's awesome. That is quite handy. Okay, so the builder block. This should be well within our means at the moment. Vibrant Capacitor Bank. Let's go ahead and order one of those. And I'm hoping that we're able to craft it today. Nope, we are not able to auto-craft it today. Let me just order another Capacitor Bank. I've got one here. I'm just going to turn that one into... And then we're going to need a machine block from RF Tools. Machine frame. Oh my gosh, we're getting to the point where we're like missing things. Now I'm missing Certus Quartz Crystal. So let me just... Oh, I should have taken my tunnels. That's the same reason I haven't like went crazy with any any AE2 stuff of late, is because I don't have a whole lot of Certus. Certus is one of the worst things for me at the moment. Like, honestly, the metals, like iron, gold, copper, thanks to our Oreberry farms, we're good on those things. It's the other things that we need lots of. And there's our open blocks, block breakers. And I think that's most of the bad stuff. I mean, this is still kind of crafting, but that's fine. So what else do we need? Pulsating iron, dark steel, machine frame. We're going to need an Arlemite Shikaxe, which takes an Arlemite pick, Arlemite shovel, Arlemite axe, and Arlemite hoe. And then we need a Rupee Shikaxe, which is pretty much the same thing. This stuff, I mean, it's not too bad. All these materials we have absolute tons of. So there's our Shikaxe and our Arlemite Shikaxe. There we go. And I don't have any pulsating iron at the moment. And there is our builder block. So that's done. That part of it is done. And we can turn this quest in. We get a wireless transmitter, wireless receiver, and a lever, which is awesome. I'm so happy that's a quest reward for that, because that is handy. Of course, I always tend to make those. They're just really nice to have. And then we're going to need a card for this. So I believe all of these are going to take shape cards. Yes, these take advanced PCBs, or I mean advanced cards, paper stacks, and electrical steel blocks. Okay, I should be good on the electrical steel. Let's see, paper stacks. 1, 2, 3, 4 of those. And then we just need the advanced card. And there is our shape card. Oops. And we're going to get a world interaction upgrade and a transfer node. And I'm just going to put those into here. And is this requiring... Oh, we probably have to make Ender Quarry upgrade base. Okay. Ender Quarry upgrade base. That takes burnt quartz and ender infused obsidian. So go ahead and make me like, I don't know, 10 burnt quartz to start with. And we've got quite a bit of ender-infused obsidian already. So let's go ahead and get ourselves our ender quarry upgrades. We'll get 10 of those. And then the ender markers. These take ender-infused obsidian and ender pearls. Let me go get some of that stuff. Actually, since we're using this a bit right now, can I get some more of these? Oh, and now I'm out of enderium. Okay, I'm short on shiny right now. I should be able to make like 25. No, not 25. Okay, I should be able to make 20. There we go. And we'll go ahead and get that running because I think we'll probably end up needing it. But ender quarry upgrades, and then we need to make ender markers. How many do they want us? 3, which I think is the bare minimum. So we'll go ahead and get that running. And we can turn in our ender quarry upgrade base, print press chases, and reading glasses. Sounds good. And then shape card quarry. Ooh, that takes more block breakers. But there's our ender markers. And we can turn that quest in, which those will come in handy a little bit later when we get into the other quarry. And actually, can I get a Tesseract? No, I'm short 1 shiny ingot. Oh, but it's still working on my enderium. I don't think I'm going to need it once that enderium's made. Okay, so now I can order a Tesseract since that enderium's finished up. Or, not quite finished, but a little bit more of it was made. Okay, so the shape card quarry. We are going to need a couple more block breakers. My fingers are crossed that we don't run out of like redstone or anything else in the process of making this. Like, part of me says that I should go ahead and automate these block breakers, but then at the same time, I think after this, we're pretty much done with them. So I'm just like, maybe not. Okay, there's our 2 standard block breakers, and then of course, we'll just upgrade these real quick. There we go, 2 of those. Okay, so our shape card. We're going to need ender quarry upgrade bases, the shape card, and then 4 quadruple compressed cobblestone. Now, I don't have the quadruple on hand, but I know I can just pop over here and get some fairly easily. Oh, that works out perfect. We have 4 quadruple compressed right in here. 3, 4. Okay. We've got 3 octuple compressed. I may need to speed that whole system up before too long, but right now it's mainly just for used for making bedrockium, but if I recall correctly, we're going to need a lot more obsidian gen, cobble gen before too long. But anyways, there is our shape card quarry. And there we go. We get 10 dark steel. Awesome. And then we can upgrade it. We're going to go, we have either a silk quarry or a fortune quarry. We are going to need dimensional shards though. That's the only thing. Okay, I didn't think about taking dimensional shards. I know in a lot of packs there's a chance they can spawn in the nether. I haven't seen them myself in the nether, but then again, I've been being chased by demons pretty much anytime that I go to the nether, so I'm not 100% sure on that. But what we're going to do is the builder, we're going to use that in the nether, and then we'll set up a an ender quarry for mining, well, overworld, but probably more likely we're going to be mining in the deep dark with the ender quarry is what I'm thinking. Because we're going to need a bunch of stuff from the nether. Quartz is the only thing that can really be affected by fortune. Glowstone's going to drop. I don't think fortune even affects glowstone. And everything else from the nether, all those ores and stuff, they drop as blocks that you then break down separately. And I will say that the next couple episodes we're going to be spending on quarrying and overhauling our ore processing system to handle our quarries and all that stuff. So just a heads up. We're going to be doing this for a couple episodes. But anyways, we've got our Tesseract. I don't think I have enough stuff to make another Tesseract. No, I'm short on shiny. Which is fine. So this, let me see, does this have conduit speed upgrades in it? Because if not, it's going to need it. No, it does not. Okay. Honestly, I'd like to have another Tesseract right now. Let me go pop down into the mine, because I'm pretty sure there's some places that I can pull up some ores, maybe try to get some shiny out of it. I could also pop into the Nether, because I would like to have this be a separate, just a quarry line. Because I want our quarry line to be connected, all of our quarries just pumped into the same quarry connection line, through the same Tesseract system, is what I'm thinking. I want them to go into the same input chest, and then be handled by our system from there. Because what I want is, I want the ore processing area, if it gets overflowed, look at all these mining tunnels I've made. It's crazy. And they got to where they were a lot of this going on. Okay, there's 15 ferrous and 15 cinnabar. Which we should be good on cinnabar. But I'll go ahead and dump that in the system, and then hopefully we'll get like the 3 shiny that we need from that. Fingers crossed. I gotta find my way back. It's like such a mess because of Vein Miner. Like whenever that was added to where you could use Vein Miner on... Oh, it's right straight ahead of me. Whenever it was changed so that you could use Vein Miner on stone, I just started vein mining everything, so my mind's like a huge mess at the moment, which is fine. It's not a concern. Oh man. But I figure we're going to spend a couple episodes getting our quarries set up, getting our ore processing system overhauled to where it can handle everything, you know, going on with it, and also setting it up so that we're keeping items in stock at long last, things like dark steel, all those alloys. I would like to start keeping those on hand. Oh yeah, we got 11 shiny. Not bad. Not bad. So I should be able to order our Tesseract now. And we're going to set this Tesseract up like... Okay, right now it's got a storage bus that handles... Okay, so what we're going to do here is... Probably should have everything go into the system, honestly, and then go to that storage bus. Because we're going to have the quarries get shut off if that chest down there starts to get filled. So I think what we're going to do is we're going to set up a Tesseract, and we're going to set it up right here, and we're going to say that this is frequency 4, set it, and we're going to say this is our quarry frequency, and we're going to say that you can receive items, receive fluid. That's fine because we may end up doing some quarry, like some pumps, and we'll run them through this line as well. Then energy mode is going to be set to send and receive. Alright, and actually, I tell you what, because I'm going to want this Tesseract plugged up into just straight into the main power system. Can I go ahead and get one more Tesseract? Yes, I can. So we'll go ahead and order that. It's finishing up that one. Okay, so we're going to take this Tesseract. We're going to have 3 altogether on this network. Well, probably more than 3. We'll have ones that plug into each quarry line and just have the quarries feed straight into the Tesseracts. We're going to have one that takes all of that and pumps it into the system, and we're going to have one that sets right here, and it's going to connect to quarry line, and we'll block items and fluids and say energy mode is send receive only. And as for our wireless receiver and transmitter, this is actually what I wanted to set this up. And eventually we're going to need more receivers, and we'll really only need 1 transmitter, but we will need more receivers. But what I'm going to want is going to be a just a comparator, and I'm not for sure. I should be able to just use a redstone comparator, because that area back there where the input chest is for the quarry, we're not going to be able to see it anyway, so that should be fine. We'll just grab a little bit of redstone, and let's get ourselves a just a dark oak bookcase. And do I not have any redstone journals? I was thinking I made one, but it may have been from a different pack that I made one that I was thinking of. Okay, I'm going to want a redstone book here. This redstone volume 1. Let's go ahead and grab one of those. And basically what we're going to do right here is we're just going to go ahead and set this up so that if this input chest is filled, then it's going to shut the quarry off. Because I want to make sure that this, in the event that this gets filled, which I'm sure it will, once we have like multiple quarries running through, you know, this one input, it's going to get filled, it's going to happen, and I want to make sure that it's set so that it knows if that does happen, that it needs to shut off the quarry. So what we're going to do is we're going to set a comparator down right here, and then we'll put a bookcase. And just to give you an idea, if I was to throw some things in here, there we go, it's emitting a signal, and it's going to emit based on how filled it is. So let's go ahead and take this, and we are going to set our redstone volume 1. I can't remember if we went over this in this series or not, but basically each of these slots correspond to a different redstone signal. So this is 0, 1, 2, 3, all the way up to 15. And of course, when a signal comes in from the side of a comparator, on mode comparator, then basically it's going to have so high of a signal, or equal to so high of a signal, equal to or higher than so high of a signal, before it can emit a redstone signal out of its emission phase. Okay, so if we take this redstone volume 1 and we put it like right here, then what it's going to do is it's going to say this comparator has to have equal to or higher than a power of 13 to actually emit a signal out of this direction. Okay, because this is basically emitting a signal of 13 into the side of this comparator. So then what we're going to do is we'll just run some redstone out. And wait a second, let me turn this. Okay, so right here, for example, I threw some items in here, and you can see that it's not emitting a redstone signal. If I pull this redstone volume 1 out, it's emitting a signal of 1. Okay, that's basically what I want, is I want it to only be able to emit if it is equal to or higher than a power of 13. So when the chest starts to get close to being filled, then I want it to emit a signal. Alright, and then what we're going to do is we're just going to bring this out like that. We are going to, oh, let me go get a, what was this lever? Oh, this lever was to the thing. Alright, let me get a couple things. Well, really only one thing. That's a redstone torch. Which actually, if I just pop over here and get a piece of stick. But basically what we're going to do is, let's just put a block down right here. And we're going to put a redstone torch right here. And then we'll do just a piece of redstone coming out from that. And then feeding into a wireless transmitter. We're going to set the frequency to 1000, and that is our quarry frequency now. So, which we'll get into the receiver side in a minute. I've got to check the video time. I'm not sure where we're at on time, but basically what's going on now is if I was to throw some items in here, like this is going to emit a signal into this wireless transmitter, and our quarries are going to be set up so that when they have a redstone signal, they're going to run, right? And if this redstone signal ever stops, then our quarries are going to stop. And right here, if we were to pull this book out, this now emits a signal, it shuts off the redstone torch, and thus shuts off our quarry. So once that power level is up to 13 or higher, it's going to power everything down, and it's going to wait until our ore processing system has caught back up and kind of cleaned up everything that's going on in it before it resumes those quarries. Because I don't want to have like just overflow just going crazy, because this is ran through a storage bus through our AE network. I don't want overflow ending up in our AE network. I really, really don't. So that's what that's there for. And of course, if you guys have any questions, you know, regarding that, let me know. But basically that's just going to help us out a whole lot dealing with everything that's going to be coming in through the system. Okay, I was just editing footage. It looks like we've still got a little bit of time left. One thing I need to do is I need to move this. I noticed it when I was editing footage. You probably saw the note. I don't need that tesseract there. I need it like right here. So, configuration, still, send, receive, receive, receive. Because I don't want it touching this quarry, because this quarry is sending, and I don't want it like pushing items into that. I mean, not quarry, tesseract. I don't want it pushing items into that tesseract, you know. And one thing I have to do it. For those of you that know the story behind it, look, my network is full still. It was actually full at the start of the episode. I meant to do it at the beginning, but for those of you that know what's going on there, or what went down there, look at those hacks. Look at them hacks. Anyways, we are going to set up our first quarry, and let me get a chest. I need, oh my gosh, I need Sardis because this is filling up so much. Let's get just a diamond. No, I want that compressed chest. Keeps items when broken. Yes, that's what I want to use right here. So I'll put the compressed chest right there, this massive, massive amount of storage. And the quarry, I mean, the Tesseract going to feed stuff from the quarry into this compressed chest. And then what we're going to do is we're going to have it send stuff into the drawer system. And then, you know, I want to see what all comes in, basically. And I want to make sure that anything that's coming in has a drawer dedicated to that item with void upgrades and all that stuff. Which I will say, judging by the time, it'll probably be next episode before we actually start filtering stuff from the quarry and sending it where it goes. And then anything that doesn't go into a storage drawer, which will be the ores, will have an import, or probably a couple import buses pulling from that compressed chest and feeding it then into down there. And honestly, I may even get rid of the storage bus that's down there and just have it go into an ender chest that feeds down there. And then get imported into the system afterwards. Just to make sure ore doesn't end up... I mean, we'll deal with that stuff next episode, because we're going to be handling all of those things. So, anyways, we've got our wireless receiver, we got our builder block, we got our quarry. Later on, once we can do it, once I get dimensional shards, because I'm not for sure if dimensional shards are in the nether in this pack. I'm not 100% sure. I'm sure our quarry will find them if they are. But I think what we're going to do, normally I go with fortune quarries. That's just because if you're at the point where you have a quarry, Silk Touch can net more resources generally. But thing is, if you have a quarry, resources are like the least of your concerns, truth be told. So there's not, I don't ever really worry too much about it. But since there's nether ores in this pack, and we're going to be dealing with nether ores, and, you know, those get picked up as ores, then they're going to have to get broken down. We're just going to run everything as Silk Touch, and then we'll just break the stuff down in our ore processing system. That way we can have the nether ores, you know, they get broken down, and then they get handled by the same system that handles all of our quarry stuff. We're going to set the builder up just like right. Look at all these arrows. Like, what is going on here? I guess they're trying to fight back against the autonomous activator. And by the way, while I was editing footage, I did do a bunch of research. I got through all of this stuff. I got a little bit of golem stuff researched. I got a little bit of artifice stuff, like enchanted fabrics. And I'm going to go ahead and get that. Some thaumaturgy stuff. And actually, let me look. Are the copper wand caps changed at all? Yeah, okay, they take Gaia spirits. Alright, so anyways, we're going to set the builder up. We'll put it right here. That'll be fine. And then, oh, I forgot to set my wireless receiver. I'll have to pop back through in just a second to do that. And we'll put the Tesseract right here. We're going to say quarry connection. You can send items. You can send fluids. You can receive energy. So, there we go. It's building up on energy. And then we have to configure our card. And I think what we're going to do is, let's come out here. And I guess we'll just quarry this area. And I actually forgot to select the quarry first. Okay, I actually died. So, that was cool. Like right here. Sloth shard. I keep getting attacked by belts too. Like when I'm trying to sort my inventory out. Which, no, other one. Anyways, I tried to come back around because I couldn't remember where the, the thing was. Like the entrance, and came around and there was just the biggest horde of mobs. I guess from that eruption invasion. But, anyways, if we shift right click the builder with the quarry card. And let's see, how big of an area do we want to do? Like from here over to... over to about right here. Okay, new settings copied to the shape card. Oh, gosh. Luckily, I died, like, right next to the portal because... Oh, it was terrible. It was terrible. Because, of course, I lost my flight. You know, my angel ring's not soulbound. It's these guys right here that are so bad. Because they just do that, like, crazy, rapid, like, kill you attacks. Alright. I mean, you can see my health's already down. Okay, so we're going to right-click our builder block. Or, no, wait. First, I want to shift right-click this. And I want to say... solid box. So if we right-click this in, put it in there, and let's go ahead and say support preview mode enabled. So if we come out here and take a look, if we turn on the preview and take a look, you can see this entire area here is going to get quarried. Right? Now let's change it, because we want it to go all the way up and down, you know, the building height. So let's pop through here. And let's change the dimensions to, say, 200, for example. Okay, and then if we put this into there, and we'll go ahead and reset the preview, that second slot does Y level. So basically now what it's doing is it's going 200 blocks up, 200 blocks down. I could do less, technically, but I tend to do 200 if I set it up this way. That's just so that, you know, it's covering all that, because it's not going to be able to mine, like, the bedrock and stuff anyways. So, that will be fine. I need to get over here. Now, stop it. Stop it. Okay, and I think this area should all be chunk loaded, correct? So let me open this up. 1x3. Let's go ahead and just change it to a 3x3 square. Alright. So, that's going to quarry out that whole area, and... like I said, I'm not 100% sure. I can't remember if the builder block auto chunk loads itself. I think that it does. I seem to recall it auto chunk loading itself. But I can't remember. I don't know why I can't remember, but I think it's just a mind blank. I use this thing so much in like other series and stuff, but I cannot remember off the top of my head if it auto chunk loads. Actually, yeah, I remember that it does. Because I remember on our All the Mods server, we had like one area that was chunk loaded right there at spawn where everybody set up their builders, and then we just had them like running pretty much of their own accord, you know. They were just all like chunk loaded from there. Alright, what we're going to do is we're going to take our wireless receiver, we're going to pop over here to this transmitter. This is our quarry line. And, oh wait, this one you don't have to. I'm thinking of a different... Whoops! I'm thinking of a different, wireless redstone. I'm thinking of the RF Tools one. That's what I'm thinking of. That one you have to take and you have to right-click the, it's the thing that it is. The wireless... right here, redstone receiver, redstone transmitter. That's the one you have to shift. Shift right click? Not this one. I came all the way back through here for no reason. Sorry. So many blocks that do the exact same thing. Works so much differently. It's just like... I don't even know what's going on. I love hearing big monsters as soon as I come into the nether. It's not terrifying at all. Okay, we're going to set our wireless receiver down right there, and we're going to set it to frequency 1000. So you can see right now that it's mining. And all the rest of these settings, we're going to go ahead and turn off preview mode. But all the rest of this is good, and it should be quarrying for us. And so let's pop back over to the overworld, and we're going to check our compressed chest and see how that's doing. And we should see lots of good materials coming in. Like I said, we'll deal with sorting all those out and everything next episode, because we'll pretty much pick right back up right after the end of this episode, because I want to get that stuff sorted. Now, I do want to take a moment and mention, because I know I've had questions about statues, like new statues and stuff, and, oh, press chest, yeah, look at all that netherrack. Now, technically, I could void this, so that it just auto-voids the netherrack, and honestly... Oh, I don't know if I want to do that, or let me make upgrades. Let me get, I don't know how many I need down there, so let me just get 4 of those. Let me get one of these. one thing I do want to do right now, as far as sorting goes, is I want to deal with the Netherrack. So it should be the next floor down. Right here, Netherrack. Whoops, I did not mean to do that. No. There we go. We're going to switch that out for a void upgrade. Okay, so it can store up to 1,664 stacks of Netherrack, and then after that, it's just going to void it. We could do deep storage, but honestly, deep storage, I used a lot of deep storage in Project Ozone. We will use some deep storage a little bit later, but only for certain things, like the metals and stuff like that, which we're not going to worry about that until we make RF Tools Dimensions, probably, that handle those things. But let me get some item conduits, and basically we're going to start pumping stuff out of this that can go into the drawer system already. So at least that'll be handled. And what we'll do, let's pull this up. And we're not going to connect to Tesseract. See, that's extracting on the green line. It's inserting, but that's all filtered. That's filtered. Okay, yeah. Everything's filtered. Just wanted to double check. And we'll just plug this in right like that. And we'll say that you can extract, always active. It's going to start pulling out this Netherrack. And I'm going to want conduit speed upgrades. And I will say that I'll probably end up, we'll go ahead and get 15, that's maximum. I will probably end up voiding Netherrack. But I figure if we're going to be mining, let's go ahead and fill up a drawer with Netherrack. And once we get that much Netherrack, like 1,600 stacks of Netherrack, I don't think we'll ever need Netherrack again. Then I'll void it on site. So you can see it's going to start pulling out that Netherrack. I mean, this thing's, look how fast it's quarrying. It's just insanity. But I imagine probably by next episode, if I even let this run for just a little bit, we'll probably end up voiding Netherrack. Just so we quit getting it in here. Because I don't want it to have to deal with it. But right now I do want to get that drawer filled. So, but you can see, I mean, this is gunning up through the Netherrack at the moment. Alright, but anyways, let me head over to the mob district. Then we're going to fly over to the witchery area and pop into the Betweenlands. Because I did show you guys, I did say I was going to show you guys that dimension. Since the speed build in the event that you don't watch the speed builds. But one thing I do want to mention is statues. I will be adding some more statues this weekend. I'm going to be doing, this weekend I'm going to do a bit of building on here, and it's going to be some stuff off camera, little small detail work and some statues, and I'm also going to start probably working on the Thaumcraft area speed build stuff, because I'd like to go ahead and get that started. We will be spending, like I said, we'll be spending the next few episodes on tech related stuff. I want to get wireless, I want to do a quest cleanup type episode where we set up some wireless AE and some little things like that. And probably, by the way, you feel a chill in the air. The haunting season has begun. That's a Halloween event thing. Oh, I brought my steak in with me and spider eyes, apparently. But anyways, I will be adding some statues and working on Thaumcraft speed build this weekend. So just a heads up. If your statue hasn't been added, I know some people even, that commented on statues when we first started, their statues haven't been added. I'm not rushing through the statues, so just a heads up. I don't tend to rush things when I play Minecraft at all, as you guys have noticed, I'm sure. So I'm kind of adding statues as we go. The series, I mean, we still have so much left to do in this series, so it's far from being over. It's far from being over. So, I know Atricus, when I mentioned last episode, I think, about, reaching Thaumcraft, getting in towards the late game, he said everything pretty much before the portal, the Alpine portal, pretty much anything before that is early game. So, we're now in mid-game, technically, for this pack, so there is still a lot to do. So statues, they're still being added, and I'm actually about to add some into this area too, but anyways, we spent a while working on walls and doing some detail work down through here. We got our King of Scorcher statues along this section. And, hey there, buddy. And kind of bringing these walls together all the way around and working on this gate section some. And then there's going to be like a gatehouse here at the top. And working on this first tower. and you can actually walk inside of the tower now. Now, one floor is not even, haven't even started implementing it, and that is the flooded floor. There's going to be a section here that's flooded. It's going to be broken open in one section, and water's kind of pouring in from the outside. But these floors are pretty uneventful going up. As you can tell, I mean, there's nothing really in them just yet. But if we look at the tower from the outside, I mean, it's not 100% done, but it's getting there. Basically, I did a double layered effect with like mossy cobblestone, and in some places the between stone tiles, and then I put the between stone brick walls in front of those, so we kind of have like this really like sturdy looking kind of tower, like fortified tower. So then this upper section, we kind of have like a beacon type area with firefly jars. I couldn't really find any other good lanterns. So firefly jars I think look okay, and I've got chains from Decocraft, and then some netherrack burning. And you have to actually, you can't just take a flint and steel and light the netherrack because it's too damp to do that. What you have to do is you have to put down moss and use one of those, oh, what's it called? The orange ingots, but octane ingots. You have to hold that, like hold right click, and it'll charge up and it'll ignite it. It won't use up the ingot, but it will set the moss on fire. Netherrack will still burn forever. So, but yeah, so that's what we spent the build video working on. It's like shaders up in this place, but yeah, it's still, I mean, this is a massive build, and it's really just kind of a for fun sort of build, because like between lands, we've probably got, I'm thinking maybe 2 more episodes worth of between lands type content, which we're kind of setting it on the back burner for right now, you know, to focus on Quarry. And we're going to be doing a little bit of tech over the next few episodes, maybe mix in a little bit of Botania with the Gaia Guardian and stuff like that. But I'll be using this time to kind of build out the Thaumcraft area and do some cleanup work and get a bunch of research and scanning type stuff done. Yeah, we're already up to 71,000 netherrack, by the way. And it's just ripping on through. Like, netherrack's really, I think, the main thing going anywhere. I'm sure nether quartz and Magnesio and some of that stuff, once it finally reaches this point, it'll go somewhere, but that's fine. Once we start voiding things like netherrack, then this won't be so much an issue, you know. But we're gonna let that thing fill up, so. But anyways, I know it's about wrapping up point. So next episode, we're gonna pick probably back up right after, shortly after. I may do a little bit of research off camera. Maybe do a little building, but I do want to get, I definitely want to get the quarry situation situated fairly quick. I will say that because, you know, I want materials coming in. Now that we're at the point where I'm like, okay, we've gotten far enough in the pack that we can start getting automatic materials. Because right now, I mean, redstone, how much redstone? I have 62 redstone. Glowstone, 767. That's actually probably coming in from the quarry because I didn't have, well, actually I probably did have about 767 because I hit up some good some good glowstone spots. So, surprised we don't get more glowstone coming in from all the witches being killed. I may end up setting up some spawners or something for that, but... Okay, I'll tell you what, we're going to go ahead and void netherrack because that drawer is already filled. Like, literally, right after I finished recording footage for this episode, it was like, oh, wait, the drawer's already filled. So, just in case you guys don't know, I'm going to show you guys how to void, like, netherrack and stuff. Because it's a very, very, very simple process. So what we'll do is we'll just pull our shape card out of here. And we'll shift right click. And we're just going to say void. And we're going to go ahead and say stone, cobblestone, gravel, sand, dirt. Yeah, just everything. Just avoid all of these things. We don't want these things. And we'll just put that back into there. Like, you can see where it's changed all this to dirt. That's all stuff that it's quarried so far. So it's basically turning the nether into dirt. So, whenever you change that card over, you have to reapply the redstone signal, right? So let me just pull this up. We'll set this down. We're going to say frequency 1000. There we go. It's now quarrying again. And that means we're going to stop getting netherrack into the system, so it's just going to be things, you know, aside from that we actually want. Because, like, soul sand and stuff, I want that coming in. I want as much soul sand as we can get because I'm thinking about doing a nether star generator. And I need to go turn my nether production back, or my wither production back on, because I have it's turned off right now, but because I didn't want to run through all the soul sand, because I mean we've got wither skulls 887 plus all those buffers are filled. Like if you take a look over here, I mean that's filled, all the autonomous activators are filled. But yeah, if we take a look at the quarry now, you could see the netherrack's kind of gotten filtered out. We've got things like ash clouds and all that stuff. And all the netherrack got trashed. I mean, it's still having to mine the netherrack, but it's not cluttering up our chests with it. So, we've got a bit of cobalt, a bit of ardite, and we can actually speed that thing up later on, which we will definitely do that, But anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed the episode. If you did, as always, be sure and hit that like button. Go ahead and subscribe if you're not already to stay up to date with when new videos come out. I hope to see you guys next time. So until then, as always, do take care, stay safe, and once again, if you guys have any questions about anything that we covered today or whatnot, you know, do let me know, and I'll do my best to get those answered for you. So until next time, I wish you guys the best.